Okay, hey, I'm back. So I'm removing this bracket here, which was one of the brackets. It's to lift the engine, and then it has a ground on it. And I'm removing it because it'll give me a lot more room once I go back to put on the valve cover. This harness, I'll be able to move it up higher and stuff, and so it's giving me just a whole bunch more room to work with, and that's the reason why I'm doing it. So just make my job a lot easier to put on the valve cover. So when I put it on, you know, you have to have the rubber gasket on there, and so if something bumps up to it, it might knock it off, and so you want to get that on there as easy as possible. So let's see if I can. Let's get this guy. That's good. Oh yeah. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to tie this up. See if I can tie that up somehow with some bungee cord so I can get it up out of the way. Then the next thing I'm going to do is I got to take off the right front tire because I have to basically turn the engine through the crankshaft, and I got to put the number one piston, which is going to be right back here at top dead center, and then I'm going to start adjusting the valves. So that's where I'm going with this. Okay, I'm back. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get number one piston. Let me pick this up just a little bit, and I'm trying to get it to top dead center. So I can move this around. Today I'm kind of shooting video on my own. My buddy's busy doing other stuff, and so what you might see is you may see these lifters going up and down until I get number one at top dead center, and that's where I'm going to start, hopefully. So that's what I'm doing. I'm remove the tire. I have a fairly long 3/8 inch, oh I'm sorry, 3/4 extension bar to a 19 millimeter that goes into the crankshaft bolt, and you turn this engine turns clockwise. Most engines turn clockwise. And right here, I don't know, see where my finger is here, right on this other side, the cam, the timing belt's here, and there's a little hole where you can look, and it tells you what piston is at top dead center. So I'm spinning it around trying to get it to number one. So that's what I'm doing right now. Hopefully it'll work, and I'll be able to see it. I'm at number 6. Next. Okie dokie. There's one right there, but I don't know what it is. Not sure which piston this is. I can't see the number. Okay. I guess I can use my mirror here. Figure it out. Oh, that's number one. Number one. So top dead center. Okay. Which is going to be Number one is way number one is right back here. That's our top dead center. So the intakes valve lash is supposed to be at 9, from 8 to 9, if I'm not mistaken. 8 thousandths to 9 thousandths, and I'm going to go to the higher end. I'm going to try and do the 9,000. Leave them a little bit loose. And let me see if I can get this to about right there. Yeah. And you'll see me coming in right back here. All right, so the feeler gauge here. This is a 9 thousandths, 0.009, and I'm going to take it out of here. It's just a lot easier to work with them when you take them out of this device. There's a little nut right here, and you can pull these out, and it's just a lot easier to work with them. So let me do that. Okay, so I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see that, but 0.010, that's 10 thousandths. Oh, there we go. And this is, it's hard to see because probably the light. 0.009. So these are the intake. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check to see if it's within spec for the 9. And then if it is, you should not be able to put in a 10. And if you can put in the 10, that means I got to tighten, or I got to adjust the intake valve. So here it goes. All right, so 9. Ooh, that's really loose. All right, it's really loose. Let's see about the 10. See if I can bend this a little bit because it'll be a lot easier for me. Kind of bending it. Let's see. Yeah, I see. So the 10 can go in there super easy also. So definitely those need to be adjusted. Alright, so what's going to happen is I'll have a screwdriver and I'll screw it, put it in right here. I'll loosen. There's a nut. See, I don't know if y'all can see it right here, but there's like a screw going down the center, and it has a slot for a screwdriver. And then this nut, I loosen it, and then to tighten it, you turn the screw that goes down the center, you turn it to the right, and then you hold it, you hold this, or you hold this, and then you tighten it. So let me get that real quick. All right, so I'm just going to show you. They're all 10 millimeters, the nuts are, and you loosen it, and just a bit you loosen it, and then with this you tighten the inside bolt, and then you hold it, you tighten it, and then you check to see if it's within spec. So that's what I'm going to do right now to this right here. It's really loose, way loose. So those are out of spec. So let's do that. See if I can do that real quick. Okay, there it goes. If you need leverage, you can get a longer 10 millimeter, or what you do is you take, say, an 11, and you put it in like so. Y'all can see that, and this gives you a little bit more leverage. I don't know if you guys can see that, what I'm doing there, just to get a little bit more leverage. Although it seemed to have come loose here, so. Oh yeah. Okay, so now, take my screwdriver, and I'm going to hold this, and I'm going to tighten it. I'm using it some more, tighten it just a bit. And they're real small adjustments. Okay, now let's check. Nope, still too loose. Okay, that seems to be a little bit better, but let's see, if the 10 goes in, that means we're not, yeah, you see the 10 can still go in. I know it's hard for y'all to see that, but the 10 is going in, so I still need to adjust it some more. Nope, still. Okay. I'm gonna need to bend this a little. So as I was saying, I was trying to just to see how loose they were, and I've seen a lot of videos online that suggest that what tends to happen is they tighten up because the valve, as the valve goes up and down in the head, that it hits the head and it starts to I guess impact the head so much that it's bending the aluminum and it's making the gap between the adjustment screw here smaller, so that means it gets tighter. And I don't know, I haven't seen it on this one. So the intake valves here are supposed to be set to 0.009 or 9 thousandths of an inch, and I just checked and I was able to put a 14 thousandths. So man, that's 9 thousandths of an inch is on the upper end of the adjustment for it to be within spec, and I'm getting it all the way up to 14 thousandths of an inch. So that's really way off. I'm going to try and stick a 15 in there and see if that'll go in and see how bad they are. So yeah, okay, so yep. All right, so I was able to stick the 15 in there. So these are really loose. Now, just because I'm doing number one and the intakes are loose doesn't necessarily mean the exhausts are going to be loose. Maybe the exhaust might be tight, but when I get to that, we'll figure out what's going on. Okay, you know what? Just for S and G's, as a buddy of mine used to say, I'm going to try 16 thousandths of an inch and see if that can go in. Alright, so yeah, you see I cannot get a 16th of thousandth of an inch in between the adjustment screw and the top of the valve there. So, alright, so they're really out of spec. So, alright, so I need to adjust this. Let's get going. We need, I was still trying to bend number 10 here. Okay, so I kind of bent it a little bit, the number 10, and hopefully we can use that one. And I just want to show you all, well, here, I don't even know if I put that in there, but this is number 10. I kind of bent that. Right, so the intake, once I adjust it to 9 thousandths, it can't go, the number 10 should not be able to go in there. All right. And just to show you guys, well, whoever's watching, they do come in really long, because sometimes you may need to reach in somewhere. And this is a proto tool. I believe I picked this up on Amazon several years ago, and I've used it. I have an NSX. I have a 92 NSX, and I use these to kind of check the valve lash when I was doing a timing belt on that. And maybe I'll show you guys the car later on. I will be doing a whole air conditioning evaporator core removal and reinstalling that car, because it's gone bad. And that's typical of what happens with old 92s, 90s, and all those NSXs. I'll be putting those videos up on my YouTube page or site. So anyway, just wanted to show you that they do make super long ones as compared to some very short ones. Okay, so what I've done is I've adjusted these two, and it's taken me a while because my OCD kicks in. And so basically I'm adjusting to 9 thousandths of an inch. And so the feeler gauge, I'm not sure if y'all can see it, I don't think you can. Let me see if I can get the camera over here. Alright, so there's the feeler gauge, and the idea is that you want it to be able to go in very easily. This is 9 thousandths, and then you check this one over here. Let's see if I can get it in there, and then I'll get you guys aligned. And very easily. And then you go to number 10, or 10 thousandths of an inch, which is a little bit thicker, and you should not be able to wiggle it in. So that means we're within spec. Okay, so these intakes are super easy. It's the exhaust, and I'm showing them to you right through this mirror back there. So let me see if I can point through them with the wrench. And so it's these guys down here, and those two down there, and then of course there's there's two here, and there's two more. I know it's kind of hard to see them through the over here, and I'll have to move that mirror so you're working backwards and stuff. So, and that's what's taking me kind of long. So anyway, that's what I've been doing, adjusting those. All right.